it still burns.
Back at the GSL Codas. We had a very short series there with Hero versus Major. Unfortunately, Major was not able to get to the point of the game where he's actually his strongest. When his macro is all up and running, he's got all the upgrades. He can start pushing. Game 1, Hero canceled his Stargate and then went into, like, how many gates was that in Game 1?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 gates. And just blindsided Major. And then in Game 2, we've seen this a lot with Terrans, even in GSL Codas. If you're against Phoenix Adept, don't push too early.
Yeah,
that's what they want you to do.
He was
don't play around the map dropping. I feel like there's people that are watching us cast this, and we're saying that, and they're like, these guys are idiots, and then they X this out, and then they queue up a game as Terran, and then leave their base too soon and lose to Phoenix Adept, and they're like, Protoss OP! But it's true. Like, you need to stay back. You need to get more and more of your tech up, or you lose the game.
Yeah, definitely. He got caught a little bit too far outside of his base. He was starting to make some turrets, lay some Widow Mines and stuff. But when you have an army that big shade on top of your little Bioforce, you're done. So it was definitely a one-sided victory there for Hero. Hopefully Major can pick it up from that loser bracket. But first, Armani versus ByuN.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked enough about ByuN in this group. I think, by the way, Armani is a great player, but he's just overshadowed, I think, not just in skill, but maybe a narrative for this group.
Yeah, Armani is like a player who can get into Code S, but can't really do much more than that right now. He's definitely one of these guys that plays like every single online thing. The amount of stuff he plays on the European server breaks my brain. I don't even know what he's doing over there on that lag, but you know, the thing is, he's a very smart Zerg. He's a very good Zerg, but he, I don't know if it's choking or he's just not there yet. When he gets on the stage here, he can't quite do it.
Yeah, he doesn't quite deliver. ByuN, a player that needs basically no introduction. This guy has the scariest micro we have ever seen in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
He is bending the laws of RTS when he gets in engagements. He'll pick fights. A lot of times I think anybody else would lose, and then he comes out way on top. He's overall clean, solid, has a very good game understanding. The first player to win a Code S and not be on a team at the time.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Pretty wild stuff.
If you're wondering how many days did it take for that to happen? Oh, about 1 million billion.
All of them.
All of them. All the days that there were.
Yeah, all the days up to that moment.
Even to the point where there was nothing, even before that.
Yeah,
so.
Before there was light.
Yeah.
So, Armani versus ByuN. You got to favor ByuN here. No doubt about it.
This may be a very straightforward series. Let's see what Armani's got to offer, because he's against one of the best Terrans of all time. In the upper left, in the blue, he is. Whoops. What? Okay, never mind. That wasn't my mess up, guys.
3,447th match.
He is.
Armani.
Armani's they make handbags? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I think they make all sorts of, like, it's like a fashion line, I think.
I think you're right.
It's like probably what ByuN wears after all the money he won.
In the bottom right, in the red, he is.
Team expert.
The gold banner. What does that mean? That means he's won a GSL Code S. That's why he gets the gold around his name. I'm not even joking.
Yes,
that's actually
it's true.
Wait until we got another champion. You'll see it again. You can be in the know, so that when someone in Twitch chat is like, what did you do? You can be like, it's because he's a GSL champion. Tasis doesn't have to tell you. Yeah. And you can be the smart guy.
Stop being a dummy.
And then and they'll be like, how do you know that? You don't have to respond. And they'll be like, I must not know what's going on.
Giving some great strats for the people in the chat.
That's right.
So, it looks like this is going to be a 3-Rax Reaper cross-map against an Armani who actually went gas pool into hatchery. So, he's going to have his speed out a lot quicker, or, you know, the possibility of a Roach Horn if he was planning on doing like an all-in or something.
Yeah, let's see what happens. So, a couple seasons ago, Artos and me were casting good old ByuN back when we didn't really expect him to win. He was like a very good player, and it was really fun to see him win because he shows so much emotion. But we would see him open up 3x Reaper a lot, and you and me would be joking about it a lot, like, all right, well, it's ByuN. I guess if we covered up the ID and had to guess who this is, it'd be like, oh, we love you too, thank you. But we would watch him do this 3x Reaper opening, and we would just be like, well, it's ByuN. What do you expect? The guy likes to micro.
Yeah.
And then he kept beating everybody, and then he won a GSL code S. And it was, and then we had
a really good story.
Yeah, no, I got all sorts of great stories like that. But we kind of had to reevaluate this opener because he was the only guy doing it. I don't believe a single player actually opened like that season besides him, and climbed all the way to the top. And ByuN is still the guy who does this the most, but
he's the best at it.
He's so good at it that this is not so much in an opening like this. It's not as much about like pure knowledge as it is just like speed.
Yeah, it's like a lot of micro. Obviously, you need to like have played it enough that you know like when you can kill the queen and when you can just basically do anything. Like look at this, for instance.
God.
He is going to kill the queen with the first 2 Reapers. I've actually
so good.
Literally not seen
I don't think we've ever seen that. Yeah.
I
know this exactly.
I've casted this opener a lot and seen it a lot on VODs, and I have not seen the first 2 Reapers just slaughter a queen, but okay. Pretty sick.
So the Lings are kind of, I thought they were going to counter for a second. They're actually going to try to intercept the Reapers as they try to reinforce. Now, he's actually got him boxed up over here, so this is not bad. Okay,
oh my God.
You know what?
He's playing hacky sack with his Lings. That's so crazy. All the Lings are trying to surround him, and they're like, brah, and they're just like...
You know, I mean, obviously, as you know, Artos, when you cast a lot, you kind of get used to, like, right before a battle happens, you sort of know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I need to stop doing that with ByuN, because every time... he always, well, he never fails to amaze me, I should say. That was really sick.
That was wild.
That was pretty insane.
Yeah, and he's still out on the map despite the very quick speed upgrade on these Zerglings. There's a 3rd base on the way for Armani, so that's kind of nice. Evolution Chamber coming up, but ByuN is going to be mining very soon here out of his natural. He's already switched up, made, his reactors, his tech lab getting that stim.
Okay, so he does manage to take out the hatches. He was definitely ready to nade, do his artful nades there if he has to. Now this
his artful nades.
Yes,
it's a really great way to put it.
Yeah, the Reapers are actually. You know, it's so funny. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna like zoom out here for a second. He is so good with these nades with these Reapers. Yeah. He's doing stuff that we just don't really see. I mean, anybody who's played Terran, I should say, not everybody, but anybody who's played of Terran knows how to use a Reaper pretty damn well, right?
Yeah.
But what he does is just crazy to me.
Yeah.
And look, he might even be able to deny this hatch over here.
His precision with these, like, look at this.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
It lands right in the middle. It chucks just enough Lings that he can win the fight. He's the Reaper Whisperer.
I don't even know how to.
I don't.
I'm like watching this right now.
He chucked his Reapers on the other side of that.
Oh my
Look at this.
God.
We're not even really cashes. We're just like, wow.
Yeah, no, he's always been the best with Reapers too.
He's gonna get the hatch. He's gonna get the hatch, Artosis.
I feel like today he's really stepping it up, or Armani is just not really doing the best job of
I don't think Armani's playing amazingly, but it's even worse if you're against ByuN. Look at this. It's perfect. The hatch is... Yeah, he has to cancel the hatch.
Oh, my God.
And here's the thing. He's going to get the other queen, and he's going to get the drones. And, by the way, my heart goes out to Armani right here, because this is really painful.
Yeah, he is so dead right now. It is absolutely wild. And we actually saw in the stats while we were talking about all this that... Oh, my God.
64 Lings.
ByuN lost 2 Reapers. Well,
yeah, that's the real shocker.
As far as gas loss, ByuN is doing terribly compared to Armani.
That's one way to spin that.
Yeah.
So he's going to go for the Zastri again. I feel like we're in Season 1 of GSL like 6 years ago, because we had some games like this, but not with good control like this. I think Armani might have actually broken here. If that makes sense. Like, look at this.
It's pretty wild what he's able to do here.
Look at this. The fact that he gets the right Reapers on the correct side, I don't even know.
Oh my God.
GG.
Just slaughtered.
ByuN.
Don't take a 3rd base against this man.
Yeah. That was so impressive. And like, seriously though, I do feel bad for Armani because that was brutal.
That was.
And Armani's a very good player, but that was like, that's almost hard to practice. I mean, how do you practice against ByuN's micro other than to play against ByuN?
Yeah, no, it is true. We saw, of course, Armani 1-13 in Legacy of the Void against ByuN so far. Looks like that record's going to be getting worse here tonight. After that game, it's hard to imagine Armani winning, but let's not forget this was 3 racks Reaper. You open up with anything else, and Armani's going to have a better chance to live into the later game. And he is a pretty good macro Zerg.
There's been a funny narrative throughout today's game, Zartos, where you can see that all these players who have been winning their games, in this case here on ByuN, they're denying their opponents from getting to the point in the game where they can actually exhibit their strengths.
Yeah, it's true.
Because although Armani's early game back there, I don't want to say it was bad, but ByuN's was better, but Armani never got to get to the macro phase that any Zerg wants to get to.
Hopefully he does a little bit better on this next map going into Daybreak.
In the bottom left, in the blue, he is
Armani.
All right. Everybody in the chat, get ready for ByuN. He's going to have the gold around.
Whoa.
His name ready?
Why?
Gregasm. Team expert. ByuN.
Why does he have to be
It's beautiful.
Well, you know, I think it's pretty fair to say he only won because there were Kespa teams, and since the Kespa, went away, ByuN has not been able to win a single GSL.
Yeah. There you go.
Just to put that out there.
To be honest, I mean, I guess I'm probably wrong. I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if ByuN had gone for like a bunch of Reapers again this game. But I guess there's not really a necessary. It doesn't necessitate you doing that just because it worked the first time.
Yeah. Like I think he can kind of do anything. He's just a better player than Armani.
Yeah.
So I don't think he needs to necessarily be too fancy or anything. Just scout with his Reaper. I'd like to see him. I mean, ByuN does like micro heavy stuff. I'd like to just see him go into Reactored Hellions and a Raven. That type of play.
Sure. Yeah.
Even though it's not like what he's known for, that type of play, you're not going to really die to anything.
I also wonder with Armani if this is going to kind of change the course of this series where Armani might want to try to go for a quick win instead. Because even though ByuN is very strong early on, I think that if you try to almost sucker punch him out of the game, that might be your better chance, especially in a TVZ.
Could be.
ByuN's so good at controlling.
Well, this is a very good scout from Armani. He's going to see that this is going to be a double medevac stim drop from ByuN. Very good strategy for this map and something that ByuN is fantastic at.
Yeah, and with this strategy, we've seen it especially from ByuN and Innovation, but when the 2 medevacs come out, they don't for instance have to like do something wild like drop in the main of the Zerg or anything like that. You basically come with the Marines, you stim forward, start fighting creep tumors as their lings come in. You shave that off, pick up, regroup, drop down somewhere else. And if you're Innovation, occasionally you just do that 3 times and they don't have enough lings and you win.
Yeah. ByuN definitely someone who can do that as
certainly.
Well. Okay, so the Evolution Chamber on the way here. I want to see if Armani wants to go for Ling Queen to hold this off, which is one valid way. Like, for instance, we see Dark do that quite often. Just make 5-6 queens, target those medevacs very well. Or does he go into a Roach Warren? That is the other way, but please don't make any Ravagers. Every time I see someone make Ravagers against one of the Horsemen when they do this, they just like lose the Ravagers. It's like, oh, wow, that costs a lot of gas, right? Okay, right-click on that. Okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it gives the Terran a really easy target, and the Corrosive Bile is just unlikely to connect with anybody who's got like S-tier control.
Yeah.
So we have Stim on the way here. Excuse me. Zerg getting armor. Everything's looking pretty standard.
Yeah. Look at this though. The armor starts before the 3rd base, so that's like a little bit different from what I was expecting here. I do wonder if there's any chance he wants to try to do a Zergling drop at the same time that the medevacs leave for a little bit.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. It looks like it could be going in that direction.
It's possible. Like when this build first appeared a while back, a lot of Zergs like Lucera and stuff were trying out these, even Sue, trying out these like Ling drops to counter it. You know, like as soon as they move out when their medevacs are like halfway across the map, if you drop 8 Lings in their base, sometimes you can kill a bunch of SCVs.
Yeah. We'll see if it actually ends up working here against ByuN.
So look at this, by the way.
Go ahead.
He's got really good timing on this +1 carapace. That's going to be finishing up like just as this drop gets there.
And that's definitely what he needs against somebody like ByuN, who's going to be moving out here shortly. The medevacs and the stem is almost done. So Zerg is now connecting the creep over here from the second base to the third base. And we're going to see this commence. So that ByuN Reaper again. He's so good at controlling this.
Let's see if that Reaper can go cancel the third or kill it.
That's right. He's going to go over there and kill all 3 of those queens. Stim's now done. And we're going to see the push, and we'll see how well Armani holds. I will say I don't think it's a stretch to guess that he's like probably a little bit shaken after game 1.
Possibly. ByuN gets in there, but with the +1 carapace and the 4 queens already ready in position, he's going to have to pull back immediately.
And good job here by getting the Lings right underneath that medevac. The Lings are now going to try to stay underneath the medevacs for as long as possible to make it... Oh, good job. Kind of faked it out a minute. Almost looked like he was going over those rocks. But the Lings do come back in here. And this takes a lot of the momentum out of what ByuN's trying to do. If ByuN can't get his army on the ground and try to push in and poke in again, he's not going to do much damage.
He's going to try to push over here at that creep a little bit, it looks like. The Lings getting on top of everything. Definitely that armor upgrade helping out a lot for them at the moment.
It allows the Lings to sustain for much more time and actually then get around the Marines. Then eventually as the damage starts to snowball, the Terran's forced to pick it up.
Yeah.
Problem, though, is when you're against somebody with good controls, a lot of times they don't lose any Marines. And you are losing Lings. Like, no matter what, you will be losing Lings.
Yeah,
in this
you're always going to get shaved off a little bit.
It's not the end of the world, but, you know, it's one of the things Zerg has to deal with.
But so far, this is looking pretty good, right? He's going to have 1-1 at about the same time as ByuN, which is nice. His macro hatch on the way, and his lair just finished. So let's see. Does he just go into Baneling speed? Are we going to see a Spire? Could we see something crazy like Solar style of throwing down a Hydralisk Den?
Possibly. Let's find out. Marines are now coming forward. He does a great job taking out all those creep tumors and backing up. Not overextending here. Now, the rest of these Marines are going to come up here, and sometimes we see them poke in and out, shave off more Lings and Banelings, and occasionally try to pick up and maybe drop into the main. 1-1's finishing, so Terran can definitely confront the upgrades that the Zerg has as well.
Yeah, that's very important upgrades in this matchup now. A nice scan here by ByuN, starting to take down some of these creep tumors, not wasting a stim at the moment. He's got to conserve some of this energy and health.
Okay, he's backing out now. He only loaded up 2 of those medevacs, and he's going to loop that around while the medevacs still have the speed boost, land that right over here while possibly poking in. No, he's not going to poke into the front. He's just going to drop over here, but it looks like Zerg may be ready with the number of Lings that he has now.
Yeah, ByuN will try to shave off as much as he possibly can with these 1-1 upgrades. The Queen's a little bit late to react up here. You
know, you want the Queens here to try to hit the medevacs. Okay, that actually went pretty badly for the Zerg. You want the Queens to be targeting the medevacs as the Marines are fighting, because you can also force them out that way as well. And again, there's no Queens over here to help fight this. Oh my god, that was sick. Actually dipped forward and dumped one Marine on top of those Banelings to make them inefficiently trade. And we see another drop happening over here. This is, again, a situation where ByuN is, like, too fast, too quick.
He's doing very well, but he hasn't actually killed any drones yet. The Queen count is still high. Baneling's speed is done. So there are some nice things for Armani, who, by the way, is taking his 4th base, and his Spire is about to finish. So there is going to be some more anti-drop coming out right now for Armani.
He knows this perfectly, and the transfusions did not go down. Marines coming out over here from the side. Widowmine's Rest Marines coming up. ByuN is doing it again.
Just brutal right there, punishing Armani.
It's so crazy. He has so many good engages, and then it just starts to exponentially go up in the losses that Zerg is suffering.
Okay, more Marines coming up, though. Zergling's trying to get a surround. It looks like they're doing a pretty good job of that. The Queen's coming up as well, so he should be able to clear this out. Oh, a bunch of Widowmines starting to connect.
Yeah, ByuN still putting the pressure on right now. ByuN definitely did overextend for a little bit back there. He didn't have enough medevacs with his army, so he couldn't do any pickups.
Seemed just a little bit too forward there for a moment, but more Banelings on the way, a lot more Lings as well. ByuN going towards that 2-2 upgrade. The Spire is done, but we don't have a single Mutalisk yet. And let's not forget that ByuN has landed his 3rd command center and canceled the 4th of Armani.
Very true. Very true. This is where the pressure begins to mount here, because Zerg has to get a 3rd base, or 4th base, excuse me. Terran now coming around from the side over here. Zerg has actually looped back out and has Lings now in the middle of the map to try to intercept these units. And these units don't actually have medevacs over here. Let's see if he can get some good Widowmine connections here. And he does.
These Lings
He's just so good,
just
man.
shaved off left and right. We still don't have any higher tech units. Okay, 8 mutas just now started. But it's kind of scary, man. Looking at ByuN, he's got his full macro going. He's taken 0 damage this game. And while the drones of Armani haven't taken damage, he's lost a lot of Queens, Lings, and Banes.
Yeah, the Marines are coming forward. Nice kill. 3 Queens taken out as he's slowly skirting back here towards the range of the Widowmine.
This is pretty painful
brutal,
right now.
man.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, for as well as ByuN is doing, props to Armani for actually lasting like this. I mean, ByuN has so many good engages. He's now shifting up here to the north. Now, with the mutas, the Lings, and the Banelings, it becomes a little bit of a fairer fight here for the Zerg. And you could definitely punish Terran even more so when they overextend.
Yeah, but if ByuN just kind of keeps up macro and does not waste a big chunk of his army, I can't see Armani actually securing a 4th before. Thing is, he already needs to have had a 4th base, especially on Ling Bane Muta. He just is not going to have enough to hold this off over time. Okay, more Banelings coming forward now. He does great targeting there on the Banes and the Mutas, but it seems like there might be. Are there? Yeah, there are. There are too many mutas over here. I start second-guessing myself every time I cast anything with ByuN at this point. Well, you wait till these 5 Marines kill all those mutas, all right?
Well, he's targeting pretty damn well. He actually has quite a... Okay, I don't know. I don't understand anything. I don't know, guys.
Do you see this?
I don't even understand. He's just targeting so perfectly. He knows when he has to pick up. He knows when it's like, okay, what it's like. I have this many medevacs and this many Marines and this much energy, and I'm placed right over here, and he has this many mutas with this much HP, and I know this exactly, and I win.
Okay.
I
think you summed it up.
Yeah, it's
here he goes. Oh, man, some more Banes on the way. But
I think some of the best, if not the best, RTS control of all time. It just comes from ByuN.
Yeah, of course.
It's just phenomenal, man. I think we may be at the tipping point here. We'll see how these Banelings connect as they hatch out.
Yeah, well, he needs them to be nailed perfectly, and it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's ByuN.
God.
So one-sided,
it's like he's
so
controlling
brutal.
it with his mind.
Yeah, it is. It's like we've
How
got
is he doing this with a mouse?
I know. He's got electrodes hooked up to his head.
Yeah.
Well, ByuN did it. No shock there, but some of the best control in a best of 3 we've ever seen.
That was just crazy.
Somebody needs to make a highlight clip of that Reaper game. He just had everything connect perfectly.
Well, especially that silly part where the Lings actually surrounded the Reapers, and the Reapers were like,
no, it's fine.
Hacky sack time. Armani just slain, man. Slain. But here's the thing. I actually think there is a chance he can get out. Of course, he has to be special, and I think I probably prefer special in that matchup slightly.
Yeah.
But Armani is actually pretty damn good at ZVP. So if ByuN can beat Hero and Armani can pull it out against special, there is a chance that he gets through still.
And Hero is always good at doing some tricky stuff, so we'll see if ByuN's ready for it. We're going to a short break. When we come back, the winner's match in today's GSL Code S.